All right, welcome to another episode of the SEWE Spotlight. This week we are talking about OPFOB, and we have JR and Ben Kennedy to chat about their mission and what they're doing here locally in the Low Country to help veterans.
Yeah, they got a pretty awesome spot in the Upper Country, I believe. I can't remember exactly where it's at.
I guess technically, it is, but
yeah,
it's local. By and large, for the state, it's local.
We could drive there within a couple hours, but yeah, they pretty awesome spot, and some of the stuff they're doing for veterans. You know how much we love people that do stuff for veterans, so great conversation with them, and we had a pleasure talking to them. Thanks to Matt for introducing them to us.
Yep.
So enjoy.
All right, enjoy.
And we're here with another episode from SEWE. And today we're joined with OPFOB. Guys, introduce yourself.
My name is Roy Brown Jr., go by JR. I'm the chairman and CEO of Operation Patriots FOB.
Hey, my name is Ben Kennedy. I'm the vice chairman of Operation Patriots FOB.
We're glad you guys are here.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having
us.
us.
And thank you to Graham. Thank you to Frigate Reserve for giving us some rum to taste on. So we'll get some of that flowing.
Let's try
over
it.
here.
Let's check it out.
Have you guys ever had Frigate Reserve rum before?
No, I had this one before. This looks great.
This is a 21 year. It is unbelievably good. I've got some.
Smells good.
Yeah, I'm still sipping on something from earlier.
Yeah.
I gotta take it easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Thanks
Cheers.
for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So what do you think about SEWE so far?
Oh, it's a blast, man.
Big
There's a lot
crowd,
of
man.
people here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dogs.
Yeah, it's great. A lot of families, a lot of dogs, a lot of people. Looks like everybody's having a good time. The weather's beautiful today.
Yeah,
I'm excited to be here. I couldn't ask for a better day.
That's true.
It's good to be back after being absent last year from
I know. It's so
you know,
sad.
the time off. So glad to be back at it.
So tell us about everything you guys have going on in the veteran space.
Yeah, go for it, JR.
Yeah, man. So I guess I'll start back a little bit with my story. Joined the Marine Corps right after 9/11. Spent 4 years active duty, deployed with as a bomb dog handler with 1st Battalion, 2nd Marines. Did a pump, came home, ended up hopping on the contract wagon and contracting with the Department of State for a couple years. End of 2007, I was injured training at the Crossroads. I ripped my kneecap off, and that kind of ended my contracting career. So
I'd imagine that tends to have that effect.
I wish I had a more glamorous story. When I actually got hurt and I was at the cache, my team leader came in and he's like, "So what happened?" And I told him, we're doing room clearing drills, and my dog tugged me just a little bit too far, and we were full kit, so a bunch of weight on, and my kneecap didn't clear the door jamb, so I ripped it off. He's like, "Man, you got to come up with a great story if something happened," and I just can't do it. So, but anyways, came home. My girlfriend at the time, but my wife now, was living in New York City, and moved back to New York City after, as you can imagine, after 3 years consecutively in Iraq, moving to a city of about 9 million people. Didn't feel like I had anything in common with anyone. So I isolated myself in a 600 square foot apartment for the entire year. The only time I really left was for my surgery on my knee and rehab and things like that. Every once in a while, Stephanie would drag me out for brunch or, something. Sure. But anyways, as you can imagine, and I'm sure idle mind is the devil's playground. So I, started dealing with my PTSD issues and, nightmares, anxiety and depression and all kinds of shit. Still losing guys in Iraq and not being there. So you have that, survival's guilt as well. So fast forward a little bit, ended up moving back up to upstate New York, where I'm originally from, Dryden, New York. And moved back up there, and my wife kicked my ass and told me to take advantage of the GI Bill. So I ended up going to Syracuse University on the post 9/11 GI Bill. Man, so many veterans don't take advantage of the post 9/11 GI Bill. It's an amazing thing. One of the great things that the government and the VA has done for our veteran community.
I used mine. It really changed my life
career-wise. Yeah. And it's good you can pass it down to your kids as well. So if veterans are out there listening, man, take advantage of that thing. But anyways, while I was there, gained an internship with a Congresswoman, Anne Marie Burkle, and I was doing like military liaison type of stuff. And we helped a World War II veteran get some medals that he never did. Helped a lot of veterans navigate the VA. But it was just something that struck something in me. Like, I'm over here in the corner, boo-hoo me and all my problems. man, there were a lot of other veterans that were just struggling out there. You know, guys missing limbs. You know, I came home with all my limbs. Guys that can't pay their bills and gals. And so I took the skill set that the Marine Corps trained me, you know, to do on the working dog side. Yeah. So I started doing service dogs for veterans. I partnered up with Labs for Liberty, which is based out of Salt Lake City, Utah. And we primarily do service dogs for the special operations community. So I started doing that, and then I've lost 21 guys to suicide that I served with in Iraq and over the 3 years, which is more than we lost in combat. And unfortunately, in 2019, we lost 5 guys within a 13-month span. And I just, you know, I broke down to my wife, and I'm like, dude, we got to do something. What can we do? And I loved going out to Utah, whether I was taking veterans out there or I was bringing dogs back and forth. I'd always come back refreshed. They've got 35 acres right up there in the mountains, so we'd go out on side-by-sides, we'd hunt, we'd fish, but at the end of the day, we'd sit around the bonfire having a beer, and I got more therapy out of that than I ever did from any doctor that I've ever sat in that's never been through anything like that we've been through. Yeah. So we basically wanted to take what they were doing and put it on crack and do something down here in the low country. So that's what we did. So I reached out to Ben. We actually met each other. Our kids were going to preschool together and just hit it off. And he's in real estate, land development. So I knew he was the guy to talk to try to get some land. Originally, we tried to purchase like 10, 15 acres. We just wanted to build a range for veterans to be able to come out and shoot. And then this plantation fell in our lap, and we pulled the trigger and went for it. So now our main mission is just to, you know, for me, when I came home, it was the camaraderie that I missed the most. I mean, you eat, sleep, shit, and go to battle with each other. And then all of a sudden you come back home and there's nobody, you know, and people don't understand you. I've lost family relationships. I've lost friendships from, you know, growing up because people just didn't really understand. And I didn't want to tell anybody that I was dealing with PTSD. And that's, you know, fast forward a little bit, that's one of the best things that OPFOB selfishly has done for me is now I'm comfortable, you know, talking about PTSD. And man, it's taken a load off of my chest and my shoulders. Like, I'm not ashamed of it, man. I went through X, Y, and Z, and it fucked me up, man. So I'm not, can we cuss?
Yeah. You're the only, there's that speaker's blasting out there. That's the only thing. Okay. But you can.
I can turn it down.
You can turn it. We'll turn that off. And then you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, it's off, so they can't hear now.
So yeah, man. So what our goal is now is to basically build a place for our veterans to come together, our combat veterans, but we're open to all veterans, to come out and build that camaraderie so we can lean on each other when times get tough. You know, whether we're talking about things that we dealt with, Iraq, Afghanistan, we have a lot of Vietnam veterans that come out our way, or we're just talking about life problems. Everybody deals with shit, whether you're a veteran or just people, man. I mean, just life is hard, and it's not the issues that define you. It's how you react to those issues is what defines you as a person. Yeah. So we're trying to provide a place for our combat veterans to come back together and have a good time, build that camaraderie in those relationships. So when a dude's struggling in the middle of the night, has a nightmare or something like that, he knows that he can call Joe over here because they were just sitting around the bonfire and discussing the same things and going through the same things. So on our property, we've got a 500-yard rifle range and a pistol range. We've got a 5-stand skeet range. We just bought 21 new skeet throwers, so we're putting in a sporting clays course. Awesome. We've got a high fenced-in 20-acre dove field. We've got quail woods. We've got deer, turkey, coyotes, hogs. Ben and I actually lease an additional 2,100 acres right up the road, and we've been doing a lot of hog hunting lately. That's the number one most requested thing that I get from veterans, man. They want to hop on the side-by-side with the thermals and the suppressors, and let's go roll around and find some hogs. We actually had some hog dogs out last week for the first time with a bunch of veterans. Man, especially as a K9 guy, man, to see the dogs work.
Watching a bay dog and a catch dog working together, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Those are...
It's adrenaline pumping.
Those are wild dogs. It's not a pet. That dog is working.
The bay dog that they brought out, big pit bull, man, he had a hole in the side of him like that from the weekend before. One of the
they just staple them shut. Oh yeah, it's so crazy.
This one it looked like they just burned the damn thing.
They just cleaned them up.
Just cleaned it up.
Yeah, good, man.
And that dog would, even with that wound,
oh yeah, man,
there's nothing else he wants to do.
No. He's like, show me the hog. So
they make him wear the
they got the collars,
Kevlar vest and everything.
Wild,
for sure.
And that was my first experience in a lot of our veterans. And then we were doing, we weren't shooting them, we were actually coming up and stabbing them. Yeah. And dude, the veterans just love that, man. It was cool to just sit there and watch them, put a smile on their face.
Yeah, some people that's the term hard men, like sometimes it's hard to entertain hard men. Yeah. And the hog hunt definitely will. It'll get you to not quite the point that you may have experienced it in combat, but it'll get you some of that adrenaline pumping and kind of get you back in that feeling. And being around people, like you said, the camaraderie and all the fellowship of growing, and there's healing in nature, and exposure therapy is a real thing. Talking about something over and over and over again so you're comfortable with it. And that's one big thing about the campfire and sitting around and being able to do that with other people that are like-minded. It's super important.
That's super important that you said that, because that's something that we really strive for, is allowing our veterans to come out at no cost. They don't have to pay a dime.
Yeah.
They get treated well. They get to come out and enjoy what we have at no cost. They've already served, right?
Yeah.
They don't need to give anything else. So that our job is to make sure they have a free place to come to enjoy the outdoors with no burden and not having to worry about watching their six.
Yep.
Although I didn't serve, this is my opportunity to serve. My whole family served. They were all veterans in law enforcement, and some were both veteran and law enforcement. So for me, it's great to give back, and I'm giving back to just help, because I saw all the things that they went through. So it's great to be around a bunch of other veterans and see them get some relaxation out on our property. They've been uptight, they've been in combat, they've been deployed, they've been stressed. When they get back home, they're trying to go from being deployed by themselves to integrating back into lifestyle with family and children and society, and it's not easy. Yeah. And so we give them a place to come, let them outdoors, and feel like they got some freedom like they had before.
Sure.
And let them bring their families, let them bring their dogs. So we're a very family-friendly, dog-friendly environment that they can come out and really enjoy themselves. And we want them to relax. And we've seen a lot of great results coming out of this. And we're seeing so many good things happen and positive things happen in people's lives. All the way from the veteran themselves to the spouses and the kids. Yeah. And watching kids do things with their parents or their dad or mom that they've never done before, whether it be, archery range or fishing in the pond and catching their first fish. Man, there's nothing like it. I mean, there's nothing like it. So we try to be the Disneyland for veterans. Cool. And that's what we want to accomplish. And it's going really well. I'd say, JL, we probably served this past year, probably 85 plus veterans this past year.
Oh, easily. I think we're, we don't count our veterans. If they come out 10 times, it still counts as one. We don't fluff any of the numbers, but I think we're around 500.
That might be right.
In this past year and a half,
awesome.
that have come out, whether they're out there for coffee hour or doing a hunting trip with us or spending the night.
And you're a 501c3?
Yeah, so we're a 509A3. Okay. So we started this thing in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
And our tax attorney got a hold of the IRS, and there's like a 2-year backlog at the time. So with Labs for Liberty, we already had that relationship, and he's like, hey man, if you have an organization that you guys can like piggyback off of. So that's basically what we are. So 509A3 is a supporting organization for that. But we're still 100% tax exempt. Every dollar that we raise stays with us. There's really no obligation to Labs for Liberty, but we are currently, we had to get our first year behind us with our financials. So I actually just had a meeting this week with our tax attorney, and we're filing for our 501c3, because that is jamming us up a little bit with a lot of private foundations.
It's hard to get a lot of the donations with that.
Right, without explaining it to people that way. And it's in their bylaws that you have to be a 501c3. So it was always our goal, but we wanted to get started. Like I said, in 19, man, we 5 guys within 13 months, and then
you don't have time. You don't have time to wait.
No, we didn't have time to wait.
For attorneys to figure out paperwork.
We're going to act no matter what. The nice thing is nobody gets paid on our organization. We're all volunteer based.
100% volunteer?
100%. Yeah, I've got a board of 9 members. We've got an advisory board with about 9 members, and then we have a committee of volunteers between 20 and 30, and everybody is 100% volunteer. And as long as I run this organization, that's the way it's going to stay. Every penny that we raise goes right back into our veterans.
And this is a dead horse that we're going to beat here, but you haven't heard me say it. They have the charities that we like to work with are like that. There's some that we work with that aren't, but the majority, the 100% volunteer organizations, those are the ones that you can tell are not in it for anything other than actually helping people.
It's a passion. It's a passion,
and it's amazing. If we were to ever have one, that's way. But we volunteer a lot of our time for things like this. Like we would love to come up there and do something with y'all.
We'd love to have you guys down, man.
We teach a whiskey class and just hang out and do some stuff. But it's awesome that you guys are doing that. Tell everybody where they can find you too.
Yeah, so our website, we have a website up right now. It's just opfob.org. We're currently rebuilding our website, but we're on social media as well. Facebook's our biggest one. We're on Instagram and a few of the other ones, but
YouTube.
We've
got some great videos up on YouTube, but our website is OPFOB.org.
Yeah.
That's the best place to check us out and learn about what we're doing. and social media for sure. We got a lot of upcoming events too.
That's what I was going to ask.
So for things coming up, definitely check and watch our Facebook page and watch our website. We planted some charity events. One of them being here in Charleston soon, and then we've got a few more charity events sprinkled throughout the year. But then our biggest that we put on is our concert. So last year we put on a great concert. We had some CMA award-winning country music artists out.
Awesome.
And
last year, the name.
Joe Nichols was last year.
Yeah.
So Joe Nichols last year,
Walker
Montgomery,
John
Jason
Michael Montgomery's boy, and then
Jason Michael Carroll, Ted DiBiase Jr., Ray Mercer.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we had some great names out. Had a great time. Had close to 900 people for the concert. This year we expect to double that amount and double the stage, double the performance.
You have it at the plantation?
We have it at our property.
Yeah, we've got a 5,000 square foot rustic barn that we ended up, when we moved into the place, or not moved in, but when we bought the place, it was full of tractors and supplies and shit all over the place. So unfortunately, I lost another brother when we started it. Down in Savannah, Blackwater brother to suicide. We reached out to the surviving family, the spouse, and said we wanted to do something, hold a memorial celebration of life. So we ended up cleaning out the barn. We took all the tractors, all the junk out of there, finished the concrete flooring, hung string lights up, have our flags, all of our flags in the back.
Added a bar, added a
bar, all kinds of different things.
That's awesome.
We were able to raise $10,000 that evening for the surviving family. And then we're like, man, we've got a great opportunity here to do a lot more with this barn. So that's where kind of the idea came from, to get Joe Nichols, and some of our other partners were able to facilitate that for us. And we've got a contract out on an artist right now. We'll know by the end of the month, but we'll let you guys know when that does happen.
It's a good time, man. It's a good time. We have a great time, a lot of fun, a lot of camaraderie shared that whole week. We had an entire week filled full of helping veterans do some fun things they've never done.
Sure.
We had over 10 combat veterans we brought down 15, and hosted for a week on property, and they got to do anything from hog hunt, inshore fishing trip. We did a ski tournament. What else we do, JR?
Right.
Mud bogging, ATVing.
Yeah,
I mean, if you can imagine it, it was like a playground for guys and girls all week. It was a blast of a time.
You guys have several partners, I'm guessing, that help kind of run all this stuff, or it's just you two?
No, so I would say primarily my wife and myself are full time with the organization, and everybody else, puts in when they can. We that's the biggest thing. And if you could see this property before we started anything, we've gotten so much accomplished on the property, and it's because of one reason. It's all the volunteers that we have, man. The people that support us come out every day and bust their ass, whether they're trying to fundraise for us, or they're mowing for us, or building our range, and everything in between. It's the people that we have around us.
Are they local people there?
They're all local.
They're all over.
Our primary mission right now is the Low Country. So the governor had us up with Major General Grimsley, the VA Secretary for South Carolina, and they approximately think that there's 120,000 veterans in the Low Country alone. All right. Wow. So we don't have to go far to start helping people. But we do have big dreams. We want to have about 4 or 5 of these things spread throughout the country, and within 20 years. The next place we would look at would maybe like a Colorado or a Montana, something, heavily outdoor recreational hunting, and,
It's great.
So Operation Patriots FOB standing for Forward Operating Base. The intent is this is home base, right? So our property is home base, and we want to spread this throughout the country and help other veterans that aren't in our region. So instead of them having to come all the way out here, we can service them where they are.
Right, yeah.
And the goal is, it's a non-clinical approach to therapy, right?
Sure.
We don't have a therapy session and a counselor sitting there waiting to talk to you. It's just getting outdoors, having fun, and connecting with your camaraderie and your brothers and sister in arms. And it's just a good time to let loose, relax, and hang around some cool people and like-minded people that have served and that you can share stories with and that they relate with. So it's a really good opportunity for us to start spreading this out. And we're getting our home base really up and running really well. And then we plan to plant this in other places around the country.
I think Montana's a great idea.
Oh, that's
a horse
great.
farm. Have you seen equine therapy?
Yeah, so that's one of our programs we're considering where we're at, but we'd love to also branch that out. I'm in the equestrian world, love equestrian. It's very therapeutic, and people bond with horses and animals. And so whether it be pairing up service dogs on our property, which that's JR's background, and then me with the equestrian side, we should be able to help really make a difference in our veteran community for sure.
Do you think the equestrian side is something that the therapy so well? Do you think it's something that because the animal's so big. It's way bigger than you, and you can connect with it. You feel like you have this connection.
Well, it is. There's a lot of energy, and a horse replicates your mood and your feeling.
Sure.
So they feel it, and they'll mirror what you do. So it teaches you to control your emotions so that you don't make that horse react like you do.
Yeah.
So once you learn that and you bond with that animal, it's super important. And so we love this.
Because you don't want your family to feel your emotions like that either.
They will.
Right. Especially kids.
Yeah.
And a spouse you're close with. You know,
they can tell.
I mean, how many of us, if you're married, you walked in and you answer a question, the wife knows immediately, and vice versa. And it's
well, and that's what, to go back to Ben's point, we're very big on family, because one of the spouses might wear the uniform, but as you guys know, the entire family serves.
For sure.
So you do 20 years in the military, you're moving every 3, 4, 5 years, deployed, whatever spouse is staying there, they're taking over both roles, and they're, carting kids around and doing everything. I mean, it's tough on all the family members. So we're very big on family. And like Ben was saying, we're non-clinical, but what we're trying to do is we're building our own little coalition. So when we do have a veteran that reaches out that's not in our lane is like, let's have fun, peel back some layers and see what that veteran actually needs. So we have other organizations that we've partnered up with. We have a unique nonprofit because we have our actual facility, where a lot of nonprofits are, out of their house, or they don't have a true place to be able to operate out of. So we let our partners come out to the property, and they use it absolutely for free as well. But we do that because we want to be able to vet them. But then when I have a veteran, if we have a homeless veteran or somebody that has some alcohol issues or some drug, I want to be able to call Bob over here at Operation whatever, or this organization to help this veteran.
For sure.
So we're kind of we've got about half a dozen partnerships right now in our area that we're working with.
That's the reason I ask, because it's really hard to be able to, because there's such a wide range of issues that you can have in the PTSD world, and it's hard to have a specialist for each one on staff. So being able to reach out to other people and collaborate, it's one of the reasons I want to introduce you guys.
Financial stability, alcohol and drug abuse. I mean, there's so many things that veterans need help with, and not just veterans, but there's so many people that need help, and we want to be a resource. And if it's out of our lane of expertise, we're going to try to introduce them to somebody that is in their expertise. So we want to be that resource. We know we can't serve every one of them, but we want to help as many veterans as we possibly can, and at no cost. That's awesome.
And we keep saying veterans a lot, but we actually open the doors up to our law enforcement, first responders, firefighters, EMTs. I mean,
they struggle too.
Oh man, the shit that they go through day in and day out, they need that release as well. So we've got a great partnership with a lot of local police departments, where they've been sending guys and gals out to come hang out and do the same thing that we do with the veterans.
That's awesome.
It's great, man. It's really good stuff.
And we'll be doing some other fun events. So we'll be doing a law enforcement day on the property, first responders day on the property. So they'll come out, and we'll host a day for them, do a cookout, either let them shoot on the range, shoot some sporting clays, or come fishing, bring their family. So although the veterans are our primary focus, we will have other days associated with our first responders and law enforcement. So it's, even though we have a focus and a mission, we kind of can get outside of that a little bit and help what's related to that, and people that deal with some of the same stresses.
Sure. Well, I'd imagine you guys probably find a lot of overlap. A lot of people come back from
I was going to say the same thing.
Military service, and they go into other public service because it's just kind of in there.
They want to serve.
Yeah,
they want to serve their country, they want to serve their community.
You have that servant mentality in it, and it's, you just can't get
public service is a big thing, and people just, once they get in it, it gets ingrained in them. It's hard to get them out of it, and that's good. I mean, we need those people, and we are so underappreciating our first responders, law enforcement, and military. And this is our way to say, hey, we care about you. Yeah. You're not left alone. You're not by yourself. We got you. Let us be your backbone. Let us give you some energy. Let us, feed life into you. It's really important.
Is there anything else you guys wanted to run over before we cut?
I would say, first of all, thank you guys for having us.
Oh, absolutely.
Second thing is, love to get you guys down to the property. Third thing, if you're a veteran out there, you're fucking struggling, call Battle Buddy. People fucking care out there for you, man. Reach out to somebody. Don't make that god-awful final decision that you can't ever come back from. There's ways out, man. There are.
One thing is, I heard somebody say once, it's rough tonight, but tomorrow could be better.
Yeah,
so
man.
just find out. Just find out if tomorrow's better. Just start with that step, and then reach out and get help.
Absolutely.
Somebody's always got it worse than we do, man. Somebody's always got it worse than we do. And even though we struggle sometimes, and people struggle, we want to reach out to those people that are struggling worse than we are and try to help bring them up. One thing I'll say is we live off of people that support us. Now, we don't go out asking people for money. Okay, so we're not that kind of organization. We do need money to operate, and the more money we have, the better off we are. So people get turned off by money. So if you're listening to this, our goal is really to spread the word, not to ask for money. So spread the word about what we're doing and why we're doing it. Whether you're a veteran or whether you're a non-veteran, you are welcome to serve, whether it be volunteerism or whether it be financially. We'll take any type of contribution you want to make in any form because we want to make this successful.
Well, I think you guys have probably figured this out, but the more you do the right thing for the right reasons, the good people and the money tends to, as you need it, tends to find you. So
it shows up.
Yes. We a lot of times we don't ever make the ask because we're not really asking anything. We just want to spread the word, and most people turn around and ask us, how can we help? And then that's where we get to plug in opportunities for them to be involved, like all the way down to the ladies that bring things out and the men that bring things out on Saturdays for coffee hour. They bring food and donuts and coffee. Like, that's a service. And it's something we don't have to worry about. And it's so great because having coffee and breaking bread around the table on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock, it's awesome. And it brings great camaraderie. And so we're glad to have the people that do anything from helping like that to helping service our range and, just showing up and running errands and just helping us out. So we really appreciate all the people that jump on board and give back.
Excellent.
Awesome. Yeah, the lady he's referring to, Barb, she showed up like a year ago and she's like, listen, she's retired. I don't have any money I can give you guys, but I love to bake. Can I bake you guys some stuff? So every week she comes out with these platters.
Yeah, we're not losing any weight around the property.
Pastries and cookies, and we're like, okay, we'll take that, man.
That's dangerous.
Great. Oh yeah,
very cool.
So, that's awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming on. We really appreciate it. Good talking to you.
Matt, guys, thank you all for having us on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, enjoy the weekend, and I look forward to doing some stuff together in the future.
Yeah, I'd love to have you guys down and actually
come out and have some fun.
We're all in.
Yeah, come down.
Let's do it.
All right, thanks guys.
All right, thank you all.
Thanks, man.